Hi everybody. Welcome. My name is Sean.
I'm Asia.
This is Asia. Today we're going to be talking about 2005 Doom, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Now, a call for help has gone out.
Game time.
What is that? We gotta go now.
If you guys aren't familiar with video games, Doom is a video game. So this is an adaptation of the video game Doom, which adaptation is very, very loose.
Like
they got the BFG. That's basically all they got.
The Big Friendly Giant?
Yeah, the Big Friendly Giant. This movie's it's got a lot of stuff going on, and they're not doing a lot to convey it very well.
What?
Let's get into it. This bad boy starts off with a voiceover. They find this thing called the Ark on Earth in 2026. The Ark is a portal to Mars. Cut to a bunch of doctors running down this dark hallway. It looks almost like a sewer, and they're getting yanked away one by one, screaming and yelling.
Wilhelm scream there.
There was a Wilhelm scream, I'm pretty sure. They finally get to, at least one dude does, Dr. Carmack.
He got out of there. And this one girl was literally just a few paces behind him, and he was like, "Close that door. Sorry, girl."
And her hand gets caught in the door and cuts it off.
That's how close she was.
Yeah, so this is our opening, and he initiates a lockdown procedure. It's not a big deal. This is how we get to The Rock. And he's getting his orders about what's going on up on Mars. We know that The Rock is a military guy because he has Semper Fi tattooed on his back. So you know he's all about
that life.
He's all about
that life, and don't even question his loyalty.
Most people live here on the normal plane. This guy lives up here, 100 all the time. Does not have an off switch.
Search and destroy. Orders received and understood. Out.
But the rest of the team does. Mm-hmm. They all want their R&R. He comes in and he says, "No, this is canceled. No one's having any fun anymore." One of our guys, he's wearing a Hawaiian shirt. He's not too happy about this because he was all about that vacation that was coming up. He had plans, man. Mm-hmm. He had plans. He was going to lock himself down in a room. He was going to get a bottle of tequila and three lady boys. 3 of them. And he was just going to have a good old time.
You sick, man.
It's like, yo, we didn't need all that information.
Good for him. I mean,
yeah, like,
aggressive.
Yeah, just
2005.
Like, just live your life, but no one asked you what you were gonna do.
So everyone's depressed now. They can't go on their R&R. But one dude in the back, the religious dude, he's just like, "Fuck yeah.
I love killing.
I love murder. Let's go." Everyone else is super depressed. They're just like, fine, like they're going to get ready for school or something, and they gotta pack their lunches. And The Rock finally decides to recruit the kid who's cleaning the floors.
Kid, son, you are now in the Rapid Response Tactical Squad.
First mission and all. I guess now's a good time. They're going to Mars. Sarge pulls the dude off to the side, Carl Urban, and he's just like, "Hey man,
Going to Olduvai.
so you probably don't want to go."
Take the lead.
They get to the helicopter and everyone suits up. They all grab their own individual guns. And each gun's got a little signifier on it, so it's tied to them. And it reads off their call signs. And you got Destroyer, you got the big Gatling gun. Looks like a Predator reference, I guess. And you got the new kid, his name is Kid. Ooh, stretch on that one. And you got the religious dude, his name's Goat. And you got Portman, who's the slimy pig guy, which I learned. It's kind of funny that his name's Portman. It's kind of like a pig, because he is a pig. I thought that was funny.
Because no one likes him.
Sarge, which is The Rock. Duke,
Say my name, baby.
which is the one other dude who's chilling on the bunks in the beginning, playing this old 2000s preloaded video game thing. You guys know what I'm talking about. It had like 3 games on it, and you brought it on car trips.
Wait, he had the plug and play handheld.
Yeah. And he's playing it like how they always play it in movies too. He's just like,
Yo, this game's latest, man.
then Carl Urban shows up. He grabs his gun. His name's Reaper. His real name's John Grimm. So there you go. I'm sure the writer was sitting off to the side, like, yeah, I did something real good.
Because he exudes death, you know.
Sarge gives everyone their orders. They show the video of Carmack saying, hey, I'm locking this shit down, man. We can't do this no more. And they're just like, shit, we gotta go to Mars, man. I don't want to go to Mars. Mars sucks. And Portman, he's being a sneaky little bitch. He looks over at Kid. He's just like, hey, Kid, I was asking Sarge for a little pussy. And a week later, he brought you on the team.
But the kid looked so happy when he was starting getting talked to. He was like, yay, they noticed me. Oh, God, dude.
Oh, my God, you are aggressive. And then Reaper's off to the side. He's like,
don't give me an excuse, Portman. No one here will miss you.
And he's just like...
Anyways, we get to the UAC base is what it's called. And it's just this empty field where an elevator comes out of the ground with really bad CGI. They all get on the elevator. Kid takes a second. He's just like, oh my God, this elevator came out of the ground. I don't know if I want to get in there. I should go. And he gets in there, and Sarge looks at him. He's just like, you hesitate, people die. They get down to the base thingy, and they're all circle up around this little glowy metal looking thing in the middle. This is the arc to Mars. They all go in one by one, and they shoot off to Mars, and they all get to Mars. They all puke because the travel is ridiculous. Kids is like, oh man, is it always that rough? And then comes rolling out this one dude.
Yes, it is, actually.
His name is Pinky.
Marcus Penzorowski, you call me Pinky.
And he's got his arms crossed. He's super cocky about it. He's just like, it used to be rougher.
Whose man is this? Like, rolling up on me.
So then the movie's just like, you know what, we gotta show this shit. So they show a pair of legs come out of this portal, and it hits the ground, and it's really bad CGI legs, too. It looks like they were just made of clay.
So wait, he got... because he
got cut in half. They go on to this main lobby. Everyone's around. They're just like, all right, everybody, we're on quarantine. Blah, 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 blah. And then Portman...
We're on quarantine, too.
We are on quarantine. And Portman sees a bunch of girls. He's just like, ooh, these aren't lady boys, but they are ladies. Mm-hmm. So he walks up to me, just on her lips, and he's like, hey, excuse me, ladies. We're on a level 5 quarantine. I have to strip search you.
And she's like, absolutely not.
One of them is actually just like,
confused.
What if I must? This is when Sam comes and the sister of Reaper, Carl Urban. This is Rosamund Pike.
Hello, Samantha.
Hello, Samantha.
Sarge,
and then
this
Portman
operation.
tries the same line out. Hi, we're in a level 5 quarantine. I'm just going to have to strip search you.
And she says, skirt.
And she's like, okay. Anyways.
It's a skirt.
I'm here to show you guys around the lab, I guess, and I'm here to get some stuff. And then Reaper's just like, yo, we don't need scientists on this mission. This is a military operation. and then she's just like,
Look, I got an idea. Why don't you ask your CO what your orders are?
and The Rock's just like,
The Rock says,
contain and neutralize the threat, protect civilians, and obtain UAC property.
and that's the bottom line because Stone Cold said so.
So they all go over to the lab, and at some point, they're just like, do you have any more intel? And she's like, yeah, and there's a phone left off the hook. It's like, was there any intel on the phone? And this dude, who's only there for this one moment, holds up a tape recorder. It might have been digital. It could have been a cassette. I couldn't really tell. And he plays it, and it's just a bunch of blood, crying, screams, and murder. And everyone's just like, that helps. This is at least 2050, right? They're still using phones that are on hooks. Unless that's just a turn of phrase. And they're using a tape recorder? Why? Anyways, we finally get into the lab, and they all have to spread out. And I think it's like it's Portman and Goat go off into this genetics lab and they find a bunch of animals in cages and hearts in jars and shit, still alive nonetheless. And then
they're pumping.
They're pumping. They're pumping and
How?
pumping. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
That don't make no sense.
Don't make no sense. That's the shit they're doing up there. This is a prelude. They go into this other back area and they find this hole in the middle of the floor, like in this tiny little room. And it's like, what is this? Go ahead, touch it. And Portman touches it and he shocks him. He's like, you ain't ever seen a cage before?
You ain't ever seen a cage before?
He's like, you asshole, because that's his favorite thing. It's going to be on his t-shirt if there was one for him. Oh, what else is happening? They find the schematics to the BFG, which, if you guys didn't know, isn't the Bread Family Giant. It's called the Big Force gun, but, you know, us gamers call it the Big Fucking Gun. And then Reaper and Sam go off on themselves. They got linked up specifically by Sarge. It's like, you guys go talk, because clearly you got some issues to work through.
Keep Dr. Grimm here safe on her salvage op. Duke and I will take the weapons lab, make sure all the hardware is secure.
And this is now the best time to do it.
Yeah. Not a stressful situation at all.
So they start talking about a bunch of their past expositional stuff. I guess their parents died when they opened this archaeological dig on Mars. And he's just like, I got out of here because I couldn't take it no more. She's like, well, I stayed because I wanted to live in our parents' footsteps. And it's whatever. He went to the military. She stayed a scientist.
I'm a forensic archaeologist, John. I'll go where the work is.
Is that the only reason you're up here?
And they start talking about the what's going on up there, and you'll never guess what they found. The fossils they find up there are not only humanoid, they have 24 chromosomes. 24 chromosomes.
That's a lot.
Humans only have 23.
But what does the extra pair do?
Makes her superhuman.
The 24th chromosome makes you not only super strong, super fast, super intelligent, but also super durable, because you can heal almost instantaneously.
Wow.
Yeah, you basically become a super soldier. Captain America would be proud. And Carl Urban's all like, yo.
I like that.
That's kind of cool.
Fucking diabolical.
And then she says, you ever think about how you could have been spending your life looking down a microscope instead of a sniper scope? And it just feels like the writer just did one pass on this scene. And he's just like, hey. Go and Portman gets scared by something rhyming real fast. And everyone chases it. They all meet in this little corridor, and guess what? It's Dr. Bartman. He's alive. And well, kinda. Not really. The dude is freaking out. He's feral as hell. And he's holding some guy, the girl's hand that got caught off in the door earlier.
That's a souvenir.
That's a souvenir. And he's just like, oh man, I'm so scared. And then Sam shows up. He's like, hey, you know me. And he's just like, and rips his ear off.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So Sarge is like, hey, Duke, Sam, take this dude to the infirmary. Have him get checked out. He might need a new ear, by the way. This movie's lit really bad. So everything is really dark and really blue the entire time. I don't know what they were thinking. I guess when they think space is like, dark blue seems like space.
Dark blue.
Space.
Dark blue.
But even though anybody's ever been to Mars, right? It's always like an orange, yellow, sepia color. No, not this time.
Surprise.
Goat and Reaper are walking around. They make a bunch of noise, and Reaper's like, it's no big deal. But Goat, he takes it to the next level. He's like, I fucked up. I'm going to need to hurt myself. And he cuts cross into his arm. He's just like, I messed up. This is my penance. And it's like, I took the God's name in vain.
Does Reaper have a reaction to this at all?
No, he's just like,
You really do. It be like that sometimes, homie.
Now we know that Goat likes to cut himself because he's super religious. And Portman's also a drug dealer. Yeah, he's the one that holds for the barrack because kids freaking out, man. He's just like, and Portman's not helping. Portman's just like, hey, man, it's kind of weird of a man like a Logic, like Carmack, that he gets so wound up about what's going on that he rips off his own ear, man. Isn't that crazy? And kids is like, yo, I'm already freaking out over here, man. You don't need to add to it, okay? Mm-hmm. You don't need to add to it.
Why are you being so chill?
And it's like, are you holding? Are you holding? He's just like, What? What do you mean?
What?
Holding? I don't know what that means. So yeah, he's holding, gives him a couple pills. He goes doop 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 doop, and it's really creepy. Kid pops him. He's good to go for a little bit. Sergeant Destroyer are also walking around, and they hear a noise in the overhead, and they're like, "Oh my god, there's something up in the attic."
There's someone in the attic.
There's someone in the attic, and there's like, "We gotta check this shit out." So you guys remember the scene in Aliens, right? When they they peek up there with the gun, and they get the jump scare, and all the aliens are rushing at them. Guess what they do? Destroyer gets on up there, pushes it open, and gets scared by one of the monkeys that escaped the genetic lab. Isn't that cool? We get to this infirmary, right? And the infirmary is behind this thing called the nano wall. They have to power it on, and you can walk through it. So I guess it like displaces the particles or whatever, so you can move through it. And you close it and it becomes a solid wall again. Cool. Probably the best thing in this movie.
They spent the most money on that.
Yeah, they go back to it a lot. Duke's just like, yo, man, I don't mess with nano walls, and she's like, get your bitch ass in there. Oh, and also they picked up a random, so she's there right now, but she's not important, and she literally leaves the next scene. And honestly, I didn't know what happened to her until the end of the movie, so we'll get there. They get inside and they start examining Carmack, and Carmack's like, I'm freaking out, man. I'm freaking out. And he's just like, shut it down. They're inside. And he like falls back and passes out. And Goat and Reaper see something running in the shadows. Just like before, this movie does a lot of the same things over and over again. People group up. They'll split up again like they're doing a Scooby-Doo mystery. They'll investigate the area.
Into the attic.
They'll find something running through the hall. They'll all chase after it. They'll meet back up again, and then rinse and repeat.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah, that's literally what happens pretty much the entire movie. So they chase the thing down, everyone groups up back on this place, and the thing escapes into the sewer. Cool.
Get in the goddamn hole, Portman.
They're in the sewer now. Goat is like reading off scripture, really into it. Portman's just like, dude, stop. And he falls down this hole. But they make it sound like he got grabbed, because they do a growl sound effect when he falls. He goes, so he just fell down a hole. Everyone pulls him out, and the sergeant's just like, everybody on me, watch your goddamn footing. He's scolding them for falling into a hole in the water. They're in the water. They can't see the hole.
I fell in the damn hole.
Anyways, they're all grouped. They all paired off together, and Goat's by himself. So you don't go by yourself in an action horror movie.
Nope.
You never do that. As soon as he splits off from everyone, his light starts flickering. And you know something's going to happen since his light's flickering. So Reaper and Kid are walking through, and Kid's just like, now's a good time to start this conversation. I got to get to know my superior at this point. Mm-hmm. He's just like, hey, you lost your folks, right? Yeah, man, I lost my folks too. And he's just like, Reaper's just like, yo, dude, why are you yelling? We're on a mission. And he's like, yeah, my parents, they like, I just woke up one day and they were gone. They took everything, even the TV. They wanted that TV more than they wanted me.
They were like, but what about the kid? He's like,
what kid?
Zippity doo dah, bye bye.
Zippity doo doo, bye bye. So Reaper takes him by the throat, slams him against the wall. And like, every time you say something, you give away our position, you dumbass. And he's just like, wait a second. I'm not sure how he saw this in complete darkness, but he did. He pulls out his flashlight, shines in the dude's eyes. Your pupils are dilated. Are you high?
Are you high?
And he's just like, if you pop one more of those things, I'm gonna blow holes through you. I'm gonna blow holes through you. So then they hear something, and they warn Goat, and it's like, someone's coming for you, Goat. And he's like, all right, man, I'm ready for it. And then it's like,
because Jesus is on my side.
Yeah. And this is when his flashlight goes out. He's like, you gotta be kidding me. And then he like spins around, and he sees like these cute little eyes just like standing up there in the darkness, really like illuminated. And he's like, and then it jumps on him, and it's one of the creatures.
Oh wow!
And it takes a big old bite out of crime. And then
hungry down here.
And then his tongue is basically one of those alien face grabbers too.
Oh no!
And attaches to his neck and injects something into him, and then falls off and dies. But after he does this, Reaper comes running up to the creature, just smacks him in the face like it's not a gigantic, grotesque monster. Like he's seen this before.
Get off my friend!
He just hits it square in the jaw, and he's like, "Hey man!" And he's just like,
He cold cocked a demon.
He cold cocked. They call it demons in here, but yeah. Everyone else came up. It's like, what? I helped him.
I missed something.
I'm helping.
What happened? What is this?
What did I miss? So everyone checks on Goat, and it's like, oh my god, he's hurt. So they grab him by the shoulders, and everyone's dragging him. They go through the atrium where all the people are waiting, all the civilians and doctors and shit. Real good call there, guys. Not a good way to start a panic or anything. Everyone get out of here. Shit's going crazy. And they're just like, ah. So they bring Goat to the infirmary to try to save his ass. And they're doing a really good job. They got all the medical jargon. They're doing good. They're like, give me a line. Clear. I need adrenaline. Ah. They're not enough. He didn't say the lines with enough passion, I guess, because Goat dies.
Jesus left him. He said, he's gone. You said my name in vain, so I couldn't.
One too many times, sir. Goat's dead, and then Sarge is all mad and stuff. And at some point, Carmack escapes, so he's gone. So he's just like, first off, where's Carmack? And what the fuck is this? And he throws the alien down in front of Sam, and she's like, yo!
I don't even know! How do I know?
She's just like, well, I don't know, man. I don't know where this come from. There's no air to support life outside. This planet's dead. And Portman's just like, maybe it doesn't need air. Maybe it's from another planet.
What?
And she's just like, so like an alien.
What, like an alien?
First off, like the way she says it is so condescending.
What, like an alien?
Like they didn't take a teleporter from Earth to Mars via a little glowing metallic orb. Like aliens are far-fetched now for some reason.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that we draw the line. We also dug into the surf. Didn't they dug into the
dug
Earth?
into the surface. They found creature with 24 chromosomes. I mean, come on.
But she said aliens.
No aliens here.
What, like an alien?
Look at that thing!
The ancient alien guy is losing his mind right now. He's like, so Portman's lost his shit now. He's like, what the fuck is this then? Mm-hmm. And then Sarge is like, yo, shut the fuck up, Portman.
Back up.
So Sarge splits everybody up again, right? A bunch of them go off to the archaeological dig site, and Sarge tells Mac, who's with Pinky. You guys remember Mac? I don't think I ever mentioned Mac because he's not really important.
They left him behind in the beginning.
He's this Asian dude who doesn't have any lines in the movie. He's just really stoic. And the only line he has is when he says his full name. It's only because Pinky asks him, so, Mac, where'd you get that name? And he's just like,
Katsuhiko Kumanosuke Takahashi.
And then he's just like, so, Mac. Anyways, he's not important, as I said. Sarge
it's important to me.
Sarge tells him to lock that place down, give Pinky and a gun and some grenades, and group up with them. That's all he does. Back at the lab, we got the Duke and Sam flirting. And they're flirting real hard, man.
Yeah.
And that's not the only secret big thing I got.
A little rusty, huh?
She drops something down the alien's throat, and he's just like, ugh. And she's like, get over here and help me, wuss.
Don't be a wuss.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so he's just like, I'm not a wuss. And he comes over and spreads the jaws. So he's like, let's see what I can do. And she reaches her arm down there, and you're just waiting for the jump scare where it bites her arm off or something. And it doesn't happen. And the whole time they're flirting and they're getting to know each other. And he's like, so you what was John like, or when he was baby John? And she's like, I knew him before he was doing all the drop down, gimme 20s.
Okay.
Like, okay.
So, was that supposed to be cute or funny or interesting?
And they start talking about his past, so we get a little character development about Duke. And apparently Duke is best friends with Destroyer.
What?
Best friends. Like, they grew up together, they know each other's favorite foods, their favorite song. every girl they've ever been with together. But you wouldn't know from the scenes they've been in together.
They had to act so stoic towards each other.
Anyways, that's all they have for their character development. So get ready for that tragedy later on when that happens. Portman starts arguing with Sarge because they're locking down the base.
He's got a big dick now. So.
He's just like, SOP is to call in reinforcements. And then Sarge is like, we are the reinforcements.
So cool.
And then Portman's like, no. And then Sarge is like, he's like, you shoulder your weapon, soldier. And Portman's just like, man,
what is he?
Weapon on.
Aww.
Got the weapon on. And then we get over to the dig site, and Mac's grouped up with everybody again. And then they find some dead scientists. They're just like, oh my god, these guys are dead. And then while they're looking at it, they leave Mac by himself to watch the entrance. And you never, like I said, leave somebody alone in an action horror movie because they're gonna get their head knocked off. And guess what happens? Dead. He's dead. And everyone comes running back. He's like, oh no, Mac's dead.
Dead. He's dead.
He's dead. So Mac's dead now. All right. He had a lot going on for this movie. Tragedy. R.I.P. Mac.
Katsuhiko Kumanosuke Takahashi.
Mac deserved better. Hashtag.
Goodbye, sweet prince.
If I cared about anybody in this movie, it was Mac. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Honestly, he had like the most charisma. Like he didn't even have lines really besides his really.
He sold it with his eyes.
Like I still liked him better than all of them. Even The Rock.
Sam told Duke to go get a bone saw because they couldn't open the body with a scalpel because it was just such a thick outer dermis. And she was like, I can't bust into this thing. I broke my scalpel. And she's like, I need a buzzsaw. And he's all like,
I am the buzzsaw, baby.
I fell in love.
Oh my god.
So
that's a weird dude.
So he goes and gets the buzzsaw, and she's by herself for a while, and the lights start flickering, so she gets freaked out. And she's like, Duke!
What a wuss.
So she opens up the nano wall because he had to leave to go get it. And she walks through, and she's running down the hallway now, completely frantic, yelling his name. And then, I don't know why, but Duke acknowledges her. He just, appears from around the corner, and he's like, doesn't say, hey, hi, hello. She just runs into him, falls to the floor, and he's like, hey, I got your buzzsaw.
Wow.
She said, I thought you were dead.
Prince Charming.
One of the dogs from the labs got loose, and it's running around, and it starts barking at Sam, and it scares her. So she's just like, I gotta get out of here. So she opens up the nano wall and gets through, and Duke's just like, I got this. And then the dog starts backing away. There's something behind him.
Oh no.
It's the creature. And he's just like, hello. Because that's how they say hello in their world.
Hello.
Duke falls down, gets a couple shots off. And I think he ends up kicking the thing in the nads, I guess. I don't know. So he can't keep up with them. And Duke runs down the hallway, runs through the nano portal. And you knew from the moment they introduced this nano wall thingy that it was going to do this.
Mm-hmm.
You knew it was going to happen. Something's going to get stuck in that nano wall.
Yeah.
It doesn't die.
Just like, ow!
It's just like, hey man, I'm stuck in here now.
What the fuck?
But no, he doesn't die. He's just stuck in the wall now. And he shoots his little tongue face grabber out of it, and it misses.
Like, I'm going to taste you. I'm going to taste you.
He does. It does look like that. When it's been, I'm going to taste you. I'm going to get you.
I'm going to get you.
And then Duke's just like, this is why I fucking hate nano balls.
But it saved your life.
Exactly.
Who wrote this? It just saved your life, man.
So the alien that killed Mac ran away, and everyone chased it, and they got back into the lab because for some reason no one shut the door. Smart. I'm not a security expert or anything, but I don't think that's how you secure things. they all regroup again. And Sarge divvies out new orders. They don't really mourn Mac either. Like he's just like,
let's keep moving, guys.
That's another one bites the dust.
Oh my god, that's rude.
And they all split up again. Sarge is like, I gotta go get something a little bit more kick.
Yeah, kick.
Yeah, kick. He finds this BFG.
Mm-hmm.
It's just circling around this empty room. And I got this really like sick guitar riff playing. It's like So Duke and Sam are dissecting the creature, and they got it open with the buzzsaw.
Mm-hmm.
And they're pulling out organs. And the organs, guess what? They're human organs. Yeah.
It's human.
What the fuck?
It's
And then
people?
we don't know. And then Goat stands up. What?
He's like taking a nap, guys.
He sits up actually. He sits up just like Kane after he took someone's finisher and he's no selling it. He gets out of bed, deliberately keeps his eye contact off the Sam and Duke are like behind this window, dissecting this creature, and he's just looking at him.
Gets up to the.
And then they turn around and they see Goat stand there looking at him, and it's like, what the fuck? And then
He's like, hey.
And then Goat starts slamming his. Goat slams his head into the window like over and over and over again until he's dead. But the one thing I wanted to point out here is that the sound effect they use is like, at first it sounds like a watermelon getting smashed, or maybe someone sticking their hand in mashed taters. But towards the end of it, it's getting so comical. It just sounds like someone's doing this. And then she makes some leaps and bounds here. So she's just like, holy shit, Goat knew he was changing. And Duke's like, huh? She's like, yeah, this thing didn't kill Willis. It is Willis. And he's like, yo, who's Willis?
What?
Shit's proper hitting the fan now. It's on high. Portman has this great idea. Man, I gotta take a dump. I gotta take a dump.
No.
And then Destroyer's just like,
ow. That would be me too. I'd be like, shit yourself.
So he goes off to go use the shitter, and then Destroyer hears a noise. So now they're both by themselves. And what did we find out earlier? If you're by yourself,
your head knocked off your shoulders.
you get your head knocked off your shoulders. Clean off the shoulders. So Portman gets to the bathroom, and he clears it, kind of, I guess, and then he sits down on the toilet and points the gun at the wall. So when Pinky looks at the camera, he's just like, I'm getting wall and floor with you. And he's like, I'm taking a shit, you asshole. And turns off the comms as Pinky's just like, fuck you, Portman. So Pinky hates Portman.
That's why he said he ain't got it.
And then the Destroyer's off on his own. He's investigating the noise when he gets grabbed by one of the creatures. Holy shit. By the way, the Gatling gun has done nothing at this point.
It's just there for
zero help. So he gets whipped around by this creature like he's an infant and slammed into these pipes. And then
who whips around? Why an infant?
Because a child. When you whip it around a child.
No one does that, Sean.
No. Okay. They were whipping around.
Like a rag doll, maybe? Let's start with that.
Okay.
No, not a real living thing. He got whipped around.
So the creature
by his ankle.
The creature
like
grabbed
a rag
him,
doll.
whipped him by his ankles into a wall like a rag doll, and tossed him into the same cell that they mentioned earlier. And he hit the ground real hard, but he's fine. He didn't die.
He shook that off.
He shook that shit off, and then he hears the creature jump down into the cell. And while this fit fight's going off, we cut between him and then Portman on the shitter.
Oh, wow.
And Portman's calling in those reinforcements he wanted earlier because he's doing it against the Sarge's orders.
There you go. Honorary Youngbuck, apparently.
Destroyer starts doing some hand-to-hand combat with this fucking creature.
Well, Reaper got it to work. He can cold cock one of them.
Yeah.
I can do that too.
But Destroyer's just like, yeah, I'm a badass. So he's going one-on-one fisticuffs with this creature.
Bam!
In this electrified cell. And he gets some good licks in, you know. But the creature starts kicking his ass, and he finally gets like pinned between the wall and this post, and it's stuck. So he tries to escape by climbing up this loose chain that's hanging down. He gets about halfway up, maybe, out of this cell. And it's I don't know. maybe like a 20-foot drop. I don't know, something like that.
Dang.
He gets halfway up, and then the creature escapes and pulls the chain down, and Destroyer falls shorter distance than he did the first time, and somehow dies. Dead. When he hits the ground, he's dead, so he must have broke his neck or something this time around.
Yeah, he landed on his neck.
The first fall looked gnarlier than the second fall that killed him, essentially.
Makes sense. Alien said, "I got something for you."
So then back in the bathroom with Portman,
He's not done.
he hasn't even started shitting yet. He doesn't shit. He doesn't shit, folks. Folks at home, there's no shit in this movie. Just the lighting is shit.
Thank you.
Portman hears a noise and he starts like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna die." So he picks up his gun, pulls the magazine out. It's completely empty. There's no ammo in there.
He was too busy thinking about his bottle of tequila and 3 ladyboys.
He pulls up the next magazines and load it up. He drops it and it slides 2 stalls down. So
What?
He's crawling under the stall. His stuff's getting stuck on top of on the stall, getting him stuck, and then he's making so much noise. Gets the thing, loads up, then he kicks open the stall door. It's like, "Yeah, I did something." And then it's just this rat running on the floor. He's like, "Ah, you silly rat." Nope. He gets grabbed by the face by this creature and rips him up into the ceiling. And he falls down and his gun can't activate. So Pinky's looking at him as he's falling back down into the gun. He's like, "Bitch."
Yeah.
So everyone comes running. They hear all the noise and they all meet up in the bathroom. As the creature's got Portman by like the belt or
Should have been
something.
Portman.
And Portman's getting slammed into wall to 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 ding 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 ding.
He's a pinball in the
Yeah.
pinball machine.
And then he gets dropped. The creature drops him when everyone runs in the room. And our big Sarge boy gets to use his new toy. And he blows a hole, like a big old hole, straight through everything.
And they get sucked into the atmosphere of Mars in the end. Yeah.
And it all starts melting away in this cool effect. And he's just like, "Yo, that was cool." But no one cares that Portman's dead. Kid's the only one that goes up to him and says like, "Yeah, he is dead." So we get back to the infirmary again with everybody. And then they somehow got Destroyer's body out of the cell. And they dragged him back to the infirmary too. So Duke can cradle him in his arms. Because it's his longtime friend. This is the first time they're ever touching each other in the movie. Dwayne the Sarge Johnson is not happy. He's seething just like that. And
That was the last
he's
straw.
like, first off.
What the hell is this? And whose goddamn blood is on that window?
And she's like, "Well, let me tell you a little story." That blood is goat's blood. And, "Well, that's Dr. Carmack." Like, "Yo, that's Dr. Carmack?" He's like, "Yeah, this is something to do with the 24th chromosome. Maybe the condition's reversible." And Sarge is like, "Carmack's condition is irreversible." Shoots the motherfucker square in the dome.
He said, "I'm sick of looking at him."
And he's just like, "Because Dr. Carmack's condition is, he's dead."
Get out of here.
So he sends Duke and Kid to go look at the scientists they find at the dig site earlier to see if they were actually dead. And he's like, "I want answers, and I want them now." Sam's like, I don't know.
I just work here.
I don't know what's going on.
I only get the coffee.
She shows him. Dr. Carmack didn't tell anybody, but guess what? He's been doing human experimentation on inmates using the chromosome 24 thingy. He's just like, everything's going good, and then he starts mutating. And that's cut out. So you learn, basically, the reason why the scene in the opening happened while the doctor's running down the hall is because the thing escaped after mutating with the experimentation. Kid and Duke get to the dig site and they find the 2 scientists, or actually just 1 scientist now.
Uh-oh.
They pop it in the head. There's still 1 missing, and we hear Pinky on the intercom. He's like, "Ah! Ah!" And then they all start running. He's just like, "Pop a grenade, Pinky, blow the shit." They all get there just in time to hear the portal go. Whoosh. They escaped. So everyone groups up one more time. We got Reaper, Duke, Kid, and Dwayne the Sarge Johnson. And he's like, this is no longer a quarantine situation. We go load up because we going back there and we're gonna kill everybody. And Reaper's just like, let me go get Sam. So he gets back to the infirmary. Sam's been doing testing on the 24th chromosome. And she's like, yo.
Pack up the science kit. Let's go.
Basically, that's what he says. But she's just like, check this out. This 24th chromosome thing only interacts with the kindness in your brain, not the badness.
We must never question the wisdom of the
24th chromosome. She holds a piece of Carmack's brain over the tentacle that shot out earlier at them. And it's like, and then it holds a piece of goat's brain over it. And he's like, I don't want that shit. And he's like, we gotta get the hell out of here and let everyone know.
What's going on?
Sarge's going to kill them all.
Back at the portal,
If it breathes, kill it.
they all go through one by one, and they get back to the base on Earth, and everyone's dead already. They don't have a lot to do. So they start walking around the Earth base halls. I was gonna say hotel halls.
Earth Base Hotel. Earth Base Hotel is the last hotel of the apocalypse. So we have to dig the hotels underground.
So they're roaming the halls now, shooting the dead bodies, so they don't come back. And as they're doing that, they come across a bunch of zombies that are chewing on some other people. They notice they're getting watched now, eaten, and they get embarrassed, so they try to attack.
Listen, I said I was going to start the diet, okay? And I just had a moment of weakness. You know what? I just got to take you out because you saw it.
Yeah. So they kill these zombies in slow motion, and it's very effective. And
super effective.
Meanwhile, Reaper and Sam get back to the base, and they come over the intercom. They're just like,
to hurry up.
Hurry
up, girl.
We're like, hey, man, guess what?
Ding dong, hello?
You don't need to kill everybody because not everyone can get infected. And Sarge, meanwhile, is on the other side. Copy that. They split up one more time, Duke, Kid, and Sarge. We cut to Duke, who's shooting some bodies by himself. And he hears one body go, hey, man, what are you doing? And it's Pinky. Pinky's not dead yet.
Oh, no. He's like, I did not survive being ripped in half just to be shot indiscriminately.
We cut back over to Kid. Kid goes into this room and finds a bunch of people who's been holding up during all this shit. And we find the random doctor. There she is. The mystery is solved. Easter egg complete. 10 points. Gamer score.
Ding. Help us.
We cut to Sarge when Sam and Reaper roll up. He's like, you stop it. You don't need to kill people. He's like, we got orders.
Yes, sir.
And we need to stop everything from getting to the surface by any means necessary.
He ain't playing around.
And that's when Duke and Pinky roll up.
Yep.
He's like, guess who I found? Look at this son of a bitch. He's like, why is he still alive? I told you to kill everybody. And Pinky's like, listen, man, I didn't know what was going on. Like, the thing came at me so fast, I threw the grenade, but, he followed me, and here we are. Sorry. And he's just... And that's when Kid rolls up to diffuse the tension. He's just like, hey, man, I found a whole bunch of survivors over here. We got to help them. And he's like, did you clear? I told you to clear that sector. He's like, no, man, we gotta save these people. They're alive. They're fine. He's like... We gotta kill them all. I'm like, God sort them out.
Cold-blooded.
And Kid's just like,
No.
denied. Mm-hmm. And Sarge is like, you don't think that's an order. He's like, no.
Go to hell.
So Sarge is like,
I've heard enough of that.
So
back talk in my house.
He shoots Kid square in the throat. Real smooth jazz.
What?
And he falls. Everyone tries to circle around him, try to help save him. And Reaper's just like, it's his first mission! And then Sarge is just like, and it won't be my last. I need soldiers.
Ooh.
I don't need anyone else but soldiers. And
he turned into Jim Carrey?
Yeah.
Alrighty then.
Meanwhile, Sam and Pinky, who are not soldiers, are just like,
we can, the arc is right there, and we can go.
Yeah.
We out of here, sorry.
So Pinky's had enough.
I mean it!
Alright. Pinky's just like,
Today's not the motherfucking day.
yeah, I survived the arc. I'm not going to be killed by some maniac.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when he realizes no one's really looking at him. They're looking at the creature behind him. He's like, there's something behind me, isn't there?
Did he slowly back up and back his wheels up to it?
He don't move.
They just all back away from him.
Mm-hmm, yeah,
that's
they back
cold.
away from him. The creature takes Pinky, slams him into the wall, whips him back, smacks Reaper in the face with the wheels of Pinky's chair, and then throws Pinky against the wall.
Disrespect.
And drags him off. People chase him. Reaper somehow is not dead. He gets up, starts shooting. He's just got this big cut on his face. Reaper and Duke take chase after the creature. They're just like, and then Duke is just like, I gotta go get Sam. So they meet up again. They go to the nano wall on Earth because they needed to find the one on Earth, and they needed to go to the nano wall because it's the coolest thing
in the movie. And they paid for that effect.
They paid for that effect out the ass. And I'm just like, we gotta use it as often as possible.
Every 5 minutes.
I want to see I want the whole. Let's change the name of this movie to Nano Wall. They chase the creature around. When they come around a corner, guess where all the zombies are? Right in front of them. That's right. The zombies chase them back to the nano wall, and they fall back through the nano wall. Then Big Bicep Johnson smacks the light switch that's on the wall that closes the door and breaks it because he's super strong.
Isn't he infected?
No, but it's supposed to be like his minds are affected by what's going on. The nano wall is like flickering on and off now. It won't completely solidify, so they could still zombies still get through, and they can still shoot out. They're firing, and all of a sudden, from the grates, Duke is like probably my second favorite character of the movie.
Yeah, he's got a character.
He's pretty relatable, I guess. He's just a nice dude. He like starts looking around the room. He's like, "Oh shit, not like this.
Not like this. Not like this."
He's holding it for a while. He probably gets to say it like 12 times. Just but you can see it. That's what he's saying in his eyes. He gets pulled all the way through. And he's dead. And CGI blood flies out.
Handle ID, Duke.
Say my name, baby.
And Sam's like, no!
I was gonna fuck him!
And then Sarge gets his legs grabbed from the wall, and then he starts getting pulled through. And he grabs the corner of the wall before he gets pulled all the way through. And he looks back up, he's just like, I'm not supposed to die! And he gets pulled through. Reaper fires one more shot at the wall, and this is when it
Where's
finally...
Kid?
He did. Remember he got shot in the throat?
Oh yeah, that's right. I care so much about his character.
Yeah, he was great.
You hesitate, people die.
No, I got this condition.
I don't give a damn.
So the wall solidifies finally, and then the bullet ricochets off and pierces Reaper in the side. It's very coincidental. They like pop a grenade and then they run off, and they hold up in the storage closet. Reaper's like dying. He's on his deathbed, and Sam's just like,
not today.
I got this chromosome, man. Real good shit.
She's holding. She was the one holding the whole time.
She's the main man. He's like, no, man. I've done a lot of bad shit in my life. She's like, I know you. Stick. And he takes a nice.
You ain't got no saying this. You have to get me out of here.
So he falls asleep, takes a nice cat nap. He wakes up in first person.
Stronger than yesterday.
Very much so, but he's also in first person world now.
Oh, that's a Doom reference.
And then he picks up his gun. He's like, "Yeah, gun time." So then he's walking through the halls, doing the first person perspective, like the video game, shooting things. At one point, he comes around this corner, and this zombie just standing there. He's just having like a really good laugh. He's like, "Ha ha ha ha!" And he just puts the gun under its chin and pulls the trigger.
He left the zombie room, like the zombie coffee room, and Zombie Joe was like, "Man, did you hear about this joke?" And he's just like
reminiscing about it.
What? He was remembering the good times when he was alive. You okay? I'm so sorry.
Don't drink and laugh. It's rule number 1, kids. There's one time that even a zombie runs away from him.
I don't want none of this.
He comes running up like the rest of them. So all the zombies like come up to you like how they do in the video games. They come straight up to you, and they're just like, and then they start doing this swing and gives you just enough time to kill it. So it happens in the movie a bunch.
Wow.
The one runs away though, and he chases in, and the dude was basically ambushing him with the buddy. He got a chainsaw. Like, I got a chainsaw. Because like the video game, you get to use a chainsaw.
That's like a House of the Dead reference.
Oh, you get a chainsaw in Doom too.
Oh.
This is Sergeant Kelly.
Yeah. It's pretty like one thing's a shotgun, one thing's the chainsaw. Just like Ash.
Groovy.
And now he's firing the chainsaw, dude. And he like shoots the chainsaw, the dude's hand by blasting its hand off. It still gets a hit in. He falls down the staircase. He does this thing where he just tosses like an explosive out onto the grates. It's like, that's a good spot. And the bridge is up top. And he jumps down. He's like, ha, now I'm here. What's that?
Boom.
And it blows up.
Yeah.
We go into this other room and we find out what happened to Pinky. He turned into this like dog creature
so
thing
rude.
with wheels for legs. It might be the coolest looking design of the movie, to be honest
That's
with
so
you.
rude. He's got so much hatred. He turned into that because he hated Portman.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Reaper like saws into its spinal cord and shoots it in the head, and that's what kills him. And then we come out of first person mode, and he's still calling for Sam, and he finds her. Somehow she's still alive. She's like, "Oh, I was having a good dream." And then Sarge comes out of the shadows. He's like, "Last man standing." And then you see the Sarge got bit on the neck, and he's all infected now. So Sarge went back and killed the people that Kid found. He's like, "Yeah, I took care of that problem." And then Reaper's like looking at him long and hard. And Sarge is just like, "What?" And he's like, "You gonna shoot me?" And Reaper's just like, "I was kind of thinking about it." And then Sarge is just like, "How much you got left?" He's like, "Half a clip." "And you?" He's like, "I got 1 round." And he goes and fires it at Reaper, and Reaper's like, "Yo!" and dodges out of the way.
What an idiot.
And he like takes a few pot shots off at him, and then they chase each other. And then we get to the arc.
Hey, you're drunk.
And then Sarge punches through this glass and like knocks him down. And he comes walking out. He's like, "Semper Fi, motherfucker."
Oh.
And he's
That's so cool.
and he's like,
Faithful to the core, John.
So you know, audience. You get it?
Anyways, they have their superhero fight, and they knock each other all over the arc atrium thingy. Dwayne the Sarge Johnson is starting to mutate during this fight. Like his hand gets a little bit bigger at one point, and then his cheekbones really start to accentuate. Then his teeth start going back.
to get it really inappropriate. He's covering them cheekbones up.
Yeah, and now he's a full-blown monster man.
Yeah.
At one point during the fight, he gets like this piece of metal from this guardrail to walk upstairs and wraps it around his hand like brass knuckles and starts decking Reaper in the face with it. A piece of this wire thing like breaks off and stabs Reaper, and we get stuck together for a minute.
Oh yeah.
They're like whipping each other around, like, ah! And then Reaper turns on the portal thing to Mars, the Ark, and whips him around, and throws him back into the portal, and Reaper,
rips his hand through, and he's like, "Ow!" And
it like quickly like regenerates. He's like, "Huh."
My word, Thaddeus.
So Sarge lands back on Mars, and he's like, "Ah, my back." And then we cut back to Earth, and Reaper's just saying his cool action hero line. He's just like the kid said, "Go to hell."
Oh, yeah!
Nailed him. So the grenade appears back on Mars, and Rock's like, "Oh my god!" And it blows up, and it kills everyone, and blows up the portal and shit.
In front of the millions.
And Dwayne the Sarge Johnson is no more. And we cut back to Earth again, and Reaper's got his sister in his arms, cuddling her like
little baby.
Like a little baby. And they're like besties again. So they rekindled their friendship and brotherhood and sisterhood or whatever it is. And they're going back up their elevator back to the surface to get out. And we're going home. And the movie ends. This movie had a lot of bad in it, and it hurt me. It hurt me bad. And
I'm so sorry.
I don't understand how you could do something so poorly.
If they did what they did with Hardcore Henry, like it was just all POV and all these like crazy action scenes,
that would have been better than this.
That would have been fun, and it wouldn't be like high art or anything, but it would definitely sell tickets.
It would have had a light better if they did everything that first person.
And it would have been fun and interesting. You have all these creatures instead of chimpanzee jump scares and people needing to take a dump. And people needing some futuristic drug, and then like brain matter that the monster wanted and didn't want. Doesn't matter. They're demons. We're here and we're gonna kill them. That's it. That's it. You didn't need anything else about a self-harming Christian, a kid who wanted to be part of the Marine Corps. Simplify, motherfucker, and some dude who only eats, sleeps, and goes to missions. You didn't need all that.
You're making it sound better than it is with the amount of character development that you offer.
I'm just letting you know, like, that's not a character to just have some kid who's a kid.
Yeah, everyone
and it's not a character to have someone to be a knockoff Quagmire.
Everything was one note in this movie.
Yeah.
It was lit like shit. It was acted like shit. The story was shit. Everything was shit. Except there was no actual shit. And so go home, enjoy your night, and just play the video games, the new ones. Play Doom or Doom.
Yeah, you'll have more fun and satisfaction, character development, and story, and artwork, and actual care.
Everything would make more sense playing the video game.
What do you rate it?
What do I rate it?
Yeah, what's your final score for this movie? Would you recommend this movie?
I give it
a 2 out of 10. Not even that.
A Portman and
a kid
and a Mac.
A Portman out of Mac, because Mac is 10.
Yeah, Portman out of Mac.
Mac is the
I rate this.
He is the gold standard.
I rate this a Portman out of Mac, and everyone have a great day and go home.